ball game. South Carolina State going down to defeat 20-13 to Norfolk State. When you look at the tail of the tape, as far as first downs are concerned, South Carolina State an advantage there. Of course, this only matters. That first column, when you look at the stats, is the only one that really matters.
Well, stats are for losers. Yeah, we have more yards and more first downs, but we didn't have more points.
Let's look at the South Carolina State drive of the game. From the standpoint of the drive of the game, you have to go back to the touchdown drive of South Carolina State. We're back in the first half, and this was one that got us back in the game and we thought was going to lead to perhaps control of this football game at this point when we were doing some things well. Right.
We had a big interference penalty that was in us that got us down here close to, but you know, we ran the football pretty well and had some nice little screens and what have you, and then we eventually get in on the counter play.
4th and 1, we end up getting into the end zone. Your South Carolina State Farm Bureau drive of the game. We'll be back with more.
How about that?
There you go. All right, facts. At this point, you look at the day yesterday in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, Delaware State getting a win over Bethune-Cookman. That happened actually on Thursday night. Hampton scoring 48 points against Princeton, 48-27. They win it. Morgan State struggles past North Carolina A&T. Howard, a big win over Cheney. Florida A&M going down to defeat Kermit Blunt and Winston-Salem State 27-23. And there's your Bulldogs score. South Carolina State going down to defeat in double overtime to the Norfolk State Spartans 20-13. And, Coach, when you look at this ball game, yesterday, South Carolina State now with a loss, which means we need some help. However, we still can stay in the race if we can win out.
Well, I think a one-loss team can win the league, and you know we got to fight our way through this thing, and I think we can. Florida A&M that's coming up this week is a little bit of a strange deal. They lost their quarterback last week, from what I understand. He's had some injuries, and he was picked to be the all-conference quarterback this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they transition after going through that little deal. So,
Coach, I know it's difficult at this point when you start talking about your team. Defensively, we're playing pretty well. Offensively, I'm sure we've talked about you retooling and trying to figure out what we're going to do, especially in the red zone.
We'll be in the office this morning struggling to figure out exactly where to go to from here with this offense. We got to do something, you know, that our people can do, and right now we don't seem to be doing that.
All right, next week coming up for South Carolina State, as Coach said, Florida A&M down in Orangeburg, the Oliver C. Dawson Stadium. Bulldog Football Network gets underway at 1:15, kickoff at 2 o'clock at the Oliver C. Dawson Bulldog Stadium. That's going to do it for this edition of the Buddy Pough Show. We hope to see you next week down in Orangeburg when South Carolina State takes on Florida A&M. And, of course, next week right here on the Buddy Pough Show.